right now in this moment, you are capable of doing something absolutely incredible with your life. You can overcome every challenge, multiply your effectiveness. You can earn many times what you're presently earning with a lot less effort. You can reach new heights, shatter any record that you've ever accomplished. You have the power to achieve whatever you can imagine. You have the power to have it all. Make a decision right now that you are no longer going to settle for things as they are. You're going to jump into a completely new orbit and begin living your dreams. Hello, this is Bob Proctor from Life Success Productions and One World Live, coming to you with the good news that you do have the power to have it all. This is the first segment from the Freedom Series, a powerful continuity program that will deliver insightful, inspirational messages to you every month. Messages that are designed to help you enjoy the good life and to combat the challenges that inevitably appear. The Freedom Series will also shield you from those unwanted suggestions that are forever circulating in your environment. And every month, as your high-octane energy begins to run low, another message from the Freedom Series will arrive to revitalize and rejuvenate your psychic reservoir and keep you moving toward the things you want to be, do, or have. You are going to absolutely love the Freedom Series. The Freedom Series came about in answer to a question I am continually asked by individuals who are struggling to make a breakthrough in their life. Also by many others who are already doing very well, but seriously desire to make a quantum leap to even greater levels of success. In every seminar and on every conference call that I conduct, when I mention that my own income went from $4,000 to $175,000 in a year and then well over $1 million, I am asked, how? What did you change? What caused such a phenomenal improvement in your life? Those questions seem to flip a switch and send my mind on a journey that takes me back over 40 years, where I mentally watch the same movie, seeing myself driving my car while I'm holding a portable battery-operated record player in my hand, listening to the ideas that were truly revolutionary in those days, being delivered to me through the voices of Earl Nightingale, Bill Gove, Elmer Wheeler, Red Motley, Charlie Cullen, or Val Vanderwall, all of whom contributed greatly to the transformation that took place in my life. For many years, I was an unconscious competent. I did not know why I changed or why I was continuing to change, but I wanted to know, because the people around me weren't changing, and I had given many of these people the same records I was listening to and the books I was reading, yet they were still living the same dull life, and my life was changing like night and day. In retrospect, I can see it was an insatiable curiosity. I could not stop studying. I wanted to know why, what was happening. I couldn't get enough information, and I had attracted to me some absolutely brilliant mentors. Seek and you will find is excellent advice. I could not stop looking, and although it took me almost a decade until I found my answer, I discovered the secret that was causing so many wonderful things to happen in my life. And I should add, continue to happen to this day. I was literally rewriting the program that was controlling my behavior every time I turned on one of my records. And through repetition, I was installing it in the psychic hard drive of my gold mine. Today, I still belong to the 6 o'clock club. I get up every morning ahead of the masses to listen to and gather cutting-edge material that will take me from where I presently am to where I want to be. So you see, when someone asked me why I changed, I discovered the answer and I love sharing it. Most successful people cannot articulate on why they are successful. They'll tell you it's because of the things they do. But other individuals they work with know how to do the same things, but they don't do them. It goes deeper than that. Multi-million-dollar corporations are forever studying their most successful performers, trying to figure out what it is that they're doing, so they can package it and give it to all of their employees. It's a strange thing. Successful people are generally satisfied to sit back and enjoy their success, but I wasn't. I had to know why, and I'm excited about being able to share that answer with you. And that's the purpose of the Freedom Series, because I believe you can have it all being the life you truly desire. Many years ago, I became acutely aware that self-improvement has no finish line. It's create or disintegrate. Build your business and your life or watch it slip away. And the only way to improve anything is through a greater awareness. The Freedom Series is my way of taking the torch that my mentors passed to me and pass it along to you every month, keeping you on the creative path of life. Each segment is designed to increase your level of awareness, to turn the spotlight on a new, exciting path, assisting you to develop more meaningful relationships, to multiply your income, and how to empower others to follow you to greater heights. Yes, the Freedom Series is an idea whose time has come. I've insisted to my executive staff that the investment for the Freedom Series be affordable and only have to be paid on a monthly basis, and no one should be obligated to continue with the series unless they want to. I want to make certain that everyone can afford to immerse themselves in this program on a daily basis every month. Golden Rule Jones was quoted in The Science of Getting Rich. What I want for myself, I want for everyone. One of my mentors, Lloyd Conant, introduced me to the Jones philosophy. He had adopted it and through his example passed it along to me. I love my life and I want you to love yours. But even more than that, I want your life to be a beacon for others, to help them understand they have the power to have it all. Over the past 35 years, I have worked with corporations worldwide, helping educate their people on how to tap in to the deep reservoir of potential that lies within, and showing them how to apply unused talent and ability to make dramatic improvements in various areas of their life. This information has, for the most part, escaped our educational system. Our research indicates that an individual can pass with flying colors exams on product knowledge, product training, and technical training and still perform at a very low level. This dilemma of knowing what to do and not doing it is the cause of tremendous frustration, leading to anxiety with countless numbers of people. It is only when an individual begins to understand their mind, along with the laws of the universe, that they begin to truly see the primary cause of their results. The Freedom Series is delivering this vital information. It is meant to stimulate your thinking on a regular basis and help you continually reevaluate what you're doing with your life and how you are spending your days. Keep in mind, life is not a practice run. We don't go through it once to figure out how to do it and then go back and do it all over again, nor do we have a contract to live forever. Your life can and should be a magnificent adventure, and it will be through the proper use of the information you receive through this continuity program. To live the good life, you must step out boldly out of your comfort zone. Open up and take a trip with me as we investigate the gold mind. We really do have the power to have it all. The first thing we want to do is relax. It may sound simple, but it's vitally important. What I mean by relax is to release the chains from your imagination and begin playing with this magnificent, limitless creative energy that flows to and through us. Now begin thinking, what do you really want to be? What do you really want to do? What have you always wanted to be? What have you always wanted to do? What do you really want to have? Think of the number of times you've said, I wished I could have what? What have you always wished you could have? President Lincoln said, to believe in the things you can see and touch is no belief at all, but to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. The unseen, non-physical part of your personality that Lincoln was referring to is your mind, your gold mind. How much do you know about your mind? With a very basic knowledge about this marvelous part of your personality, you would have to agree that the mind is golden. The late Dr. J.B. Rhine from Duke University was one of the foremost authorities in his time in the area of the mind. He stated, "The mind is the greatest power in all of creation." Golden is, in my opinion, an excellent adjective to choose when you're referring to your mind. Gold has always been admired and recognized as being something that's very precious. And of course, anyone who thinks would look at his or her mind in a like manner. For years, the worldwide market of gold was repressed. It was fixed at $35 an ounce. I clearly remember when the restraints were removed. It multiplied in value by a factor of approximately 20. When a person gets a true grasp of their potential and how to apply it, their effectiveness is not multiplied, it's compounded. And there would seem to be no end to their value. Everyone who had the vision to purchase gold at $35 an ounce prior to the restraints being removed became instant millionaires. You're going to find, if you have not already, that millionaire status is not difficult to reach when you begin to utilize the creative faculties that God has given you. Permit me to carry these similarities between gold and your mind a little further. You can become aware of the presence of gold on your property, but just being aware of its presence isn't good enough. A respectable amount of planning and effort is required to bring it to the surface, and then you must keep mining it. It's a never-ending process. You would certainly question a person who discovered gold on their property, who went so far as to stake their claim and then never brought the gold to the surface. Instead, the person proceeded with the remainder of their life in much the same manner as they had prior to this great find. Properly cultivated, the new discovery would add many new dimensions to their life. Plus, they would be in the position to help thousands of others not quite so fortunate. The similarity does not end here. After the proud owner had made the great discovery on their property, a respectable investment of time, effort, and money would be required to bring it to the surface. Likewise with yourself. When you discover the infinite potential of your gold mind, it does nothing to improve your net worth, to build your business, develop relationships, nor does it improve any other aspect of your life. From a personal perspective, I can honestly say that I have literally invested many thousands of dollars in seminars, books, tapes, and CDs. Neither my time nor my money was wasted. I have reaped and continue to reap rich rewards. Make a commitment to yourself, if you haven't already, to allocate a part of your income and your time to your own research and development. Commit to listen to the messages from the Freedom Series frequently, every day, for a month. There is no one more powerful than you. Whatever you see anyone else doing, you can do. Not only can you do it, chances are that you can do it better, faster, and more often with greater success. What do you really want to do with your life? What is that hidden secret desire that lies quietly in the recesses of your gold mind? Bring it to the surface and mold it into something beautiful. Mentally play with it, polish it, continually add one beautiful thought after another to it, and clearly understand it's only a decision away. Everything you're seeking is seeking you. As you move towards it, it moves towards you. You have what it takes. Let those precious images surface. You will not only brighten up your own life, you will illuminate the lives of all those people with whom you come in contact. Let the advice that Lord Chesterfield gave to his son ring in your mind frequently as you go through the day. He said, "My son, cause other people to like themselves a little bit more, and I'll promise you this, they'll like you very much." Stake your claim right now and let's start digging, because you are the proud and fortunate owner of your own gold mind. Right now, take a moment to consider how your mind works. You think with your mind. It is this power of thought that distinguishes you from the lower animals. In Archibald MacLeish's Pulitzer Prize-winning play, The Secret of Freedom, he had one of his characters stand up and say, "The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Anything else you can find in a pig or a horse. He was right. It's your capacity to think, to direct and control yourself. It's your ability to vision and create things. The majority of people, however, do not make proper use of this power. They are not original or creative thinkers. They merely choose from amongst the ideas that are developed by others and accept thoughts that best suit their purposes. They drift aimlessly through life, accepting more or less fatalistically the problems that confront them every day. They allow others to think for them and usually choose the path of least resistance. When decisions have to be made, the customary attitude is, well, we'll see what happens. The Freedom Series is going to make certain that you are part of the productive group. Regardless of what you may have been doing in the past, realize it is the past. The future is bright. Keep moving onward and upward. There are very few people who have disciplined themselves to think in an orderly way, with some continuity. Be recognized as one of those people. Let yourself be recognized as an individual who is continually involved in creative visualization and purposeful thinking. A dear friend of mine, the late J. Dishman, wrote the following lines after he and his wife returned from a vacation. He said, "Recently I visited Alcatraz prison. Once it housed the most hardened of criminal. Today it is open for tours under the direction of the United States Parks Department. Many men have tried to escape Alcatraz. No one is known to have succeeded." As I listened to the tour guide explain the possibility of escape, I thought of other prisons equally as confining as Alcatraz, but where the doors are never locked. No guards walk the walls. Escape is encouraged and possible. This, of course, is the prison of habit. Our habit of thinking about ourselves and our environment is a jail or a paradise. We need only but look around us to see people who are rich emotionally and materially because they think and feel rich. We also see people who are laden with emotional and material debts because they think of lack. Some are inspired with vision, others are encumbered with doubt. Some are moved with ambition, others are paralyzed with fear. Some feel free to change, others feel safer in monotony. Some reach for the mountaintops, others huddle in the pits. Some seek opportunity, others wait for it to knock. The sad fact is that more people are confined by their thoughts than are freed by them. Negative thinking shuts a door on us. It shuts us in a prison, but there is a way out. We don't have the time at our command here in this one message to really explore the potential of your gold mine. However, that is one of the purposes of the Freedom Series. This one message, your gold mine, compared to the entire series, could be compared to a minnow in the shallows. As we get into other messages, we will explore the deeper wonders of your gold mine, where your real beauty lies. We will investigate how you can multiply your income by setting up multiple sources of income, and how to make connections with other individuals who are also studying the material from the Freedom Series throughout the world. Rather than just hearing my words, draw your conscious attention to yourself. Focus all of your mental energy on your physical self. Hold your hand out in front of you. Now realize that's your hand. It's a part of your body. Realize you are not a body, you have a body. You live in a body. You might have heard me say this before in a seminar, and that's okay. Part of what I've discovered is that you cannot hear that too often. We carry with us a conditioning in every cell of our being that keeps us grounded. For the most part, we are controlled by our physical world. We must break out of that conditioning, and it's through the repetition of the right information that we will become free. You are much more than meets the casual eye. Your body is the physical part of you. You're surrounded by a physical or material world. You have sensory factors. You can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Understand your senses help you connect with your outside world. And we have been conditioned from birth to live through our senses, to let the outside world control our thinking. Information from outside of you is fed into your gold mine through your senses. A lot of this information is false. Try and understand that the truth is rarely in the appearance of things. Rather than look at what you're doing as a cause of unwanted results, you might ask yourself, what's causing you to do that? That was the very question that triggered the journey I have been on for over 40 years, and I can assure you, it can do exactly the same for you. Now, there's another side of you that can be referred to as the intellect. That is the part of you that you cannot see. It is not uncommon to hear people refer to another individual as an intellect. For example, they might say, John is quite an intellect, which of course is inaccurate. John may be a bright guy. He might have gathered a lot of information, but that does not make him an intellect. No one is an intellect. Everyone has an intellect. The distinctions that we are making are quite important. You live in a physical body. You have an intellect. And just as you have your sensory factors that enable you to connect and correspond with your material world, you also have intellectual factors that enable you to connect and correspond to your non-physical world. And believe me, that's where the excitement, the big ideas, and the solutions to every problem lies. That's where your infinite source of wealth is resident. If you're going to improve the quality of your life, you must tap into this part of your personality. The faculties that enable you to go shopping in this spiritual storehouse with its infinite inventory are reason, memory, intuition, imagination, will, and perception. These faculties can be exercised, and through exercise, they become very powerful. Stop and think for a moment. This is the age of the mind. The physically strong lost their dominant position long before you were born, and the intellectual giants are quickly falling by the wayside. They may earn tenure, but they will never really explore the depth of their being or enjoy the rewards they've been promised until they get a firm grip, a deep understanding of the spiritual side of their personality. I am not suggesting that the intellectual side of your personality should not be held with anything but the highest regard. But I am suggesting that we have been taught, for the most part, to use these higher faculties to gather information rather than to make a connection with our true nature, the spiritual side of our personality, which is the essence of what we are. You are a spiritual being. Listen carefully to the conversations of most people. When reference is made to the soul, it's generally referred to as something that you have. You have an intellect. You are a soul. You are God's greatest creation. You can deny it. You can easily reject it. But you're never going to really have it all until you accept it. This brings us to the real you. Just as the physical world operates by law in an orderly manner, so does the spiritual world operate in a very orderly manner. And the more you get in tune with this side of yourself, the more that order will be expressed in your results. That order is referred to as law. To consciously and deliberately develop the life of your dreams, you will want to gain an understanding of these laws and how to apply them to your everyday life. These laws will be covered in the next message of the Freedom Series. It is powerful information that will truly enlighten your life. Look forward to it. It is in the spiritual world where God has placed infinite power and infinite knowledge, all of which is available to you and me. It is through the use of our intellectual factors that we let this great power and this knowledge flow into our consciousness, and it is from this source that all inventions surface through the human mind. The problem with the average individual is that they do not understand this beautiful truth. And when an image of doing something much greater than they have ever experienced in the past surfaces in their consciousness, they fail to realize where the image is coming from. They compare their present and past results to it, and they immediately think that they can't do it, thus canceling out the image. When you do realize where these tremendous images come from that improve every aspect of your life, you will experience the emotion of gratitude like you have never experienced it in the past. And you will also realize that it is the attitude of gratitude that connects you to your infinite source of supply. Many years ago, a friend of mine, Bob McCarty, who was in management with an insurance company, asked if I would spend a little time with one of his agents. I agreed, and a young fellow by the name of Roger came to visit me. This was at a time that if an agent wrote $1 million worth of insurance within a year, he was considered to be quite successful. At a point in our conversation, Roger asked me what I thought he could do. I replied, "Roger, what I think you can do is of little importance. What you should be focusing on is what you think you can do." We started to focus on Roger's production, and I said, "Roger, make a decision right here and now to write $1 million worth of insurance in the next 30 days. At first, he looked at me with sort of a blank stare. I continued and said, "Roger, visualize for a moment what you would do with the added income that you would get from writing that much insurance." With a little persuasion on my part, Roger agreed that he would go out and sell $1 million of insurance in 30 days. At the end of the month, I got a call. He had not sold $1 million, but he had sold $450,000 for the month, and he led his entire district operation. The next month, he went after the $1 million and did it. When you go after what you want, you may not get it when you want it, but if you hold the image, you will get it. Whatever you want, understand you can have it. Stretch your mind. The picture of a bigger and a better world is waiting to enter your consciousness. Remember what I previously suggested. Whatever you are seeking is seeking you. You are the instrument through which spirit is expressing itself. We think in pictures. We build images. It's almost as if there's a movie screen running right through the center of our head. We're the playwright, we're the director, we're the producer, and we can place on that screen any image we want. Unfortunately, most people choose to be extras in their own movie. I want you to let this Freedom Series show you how to employ this magnificent power to have it all. You can be the star of your own movie. Create a picture on the screen of your gold mine that has a very strong appeal to your emotions. When you are emotionally involved with this image, it will keep you going when everyone and everything outside of you tells you to quit. Regardless of what your conditions or circumstances may be like, get enthusiastic about the reward that is waiting for you. Let this enthusiasm fill every cell of your being. Here's a wonderful example of how a young American girl, Gertrude Ederle, did exactly what I'm suggesting. Up until the year 1926, no woman had ever swum the English Channel. Then an automobile company offered a red Buick automobile and $2,500 in cash to the first woman who would accomplish this feat. A 19-year-old Gertrude Ederle wanted the automobile, so she decided that she was going to swim the English Channel to get it. Partway across, her body strength began to give out. She felt she couldn't swim one more stroke. I think we can all imagine how Gertrude must have felt. But as she lay there, waiting to be taken out of the water, she closed her eyes. Her imagination kicked into high gear, and she saw the image of herself sitting in the red Buick convertible. The image that she created with her imagination opened a channel to her infinite source of supply, and a new surge of strength fueled her body. She let this creative power flow into every fiber of her being, and she did not stop again until she felt under her feet the sands of the opposite shore. That young lady presented us with a great idea. When we're working toward our goal, and we start to get a little tired and possibly a little discouraged and feeling overcome with the weight of the world, we want to activate our imagination and see ourselves in possession of the reward we will receive from the accomplishment of our goal. That is what all the great artists, musicians, writers, poets have done to become great. They have acquired the habit of listening to that still, small voice within. That's their creative imagination. I can recount story after story of people I've known and have worked with over the years whose lives literally spun around when they really got this information and used it to change their results. From small children to doctors to large corporations, it doesn't matter where you stand in life. You can always do better. Through the proper use of your higher faculties, you can literally be, do, and have anything you seriously want. The higher side of your personality is always for expansion and fuller expression. I want to suggest that you start following your own counsel. Filter out the noise coming from the people you're surrounded by. They cannot see what you can see. They're not thinking the way you're thinking. As a matter of fact, they may not be thinking at all. That may sound rather cynical, but I look at it as a rather accurate observation. Unfortunately, it's just the way most people live. Earl Nightingale used to say, if most people said what they were thinking, they would be speechless. Dr. Ken McFarland, the late great educator from Kentucky, once pointed out, 2% of the people think, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. Because the majority of people that you're surrounded by have mental activity, and thus have pictures running across the screen of their mind, they honestly believe they are thinking. What they're probably doing is activating their faculty of memory, and they're not really thinking at all. Just listen to the conversations of many of the people you work with. They would not say the things they were saying if they were truly thinking. Watch their behavior. They would never do the things they're doing if they were really thinking. In your industry, possibly in your company, there are stars. I'm referring to the top producers. You know who they are. Understand what they are doing, you can do. The rewards they are enjoying, you can enjoy. You can even do greater things if you choose. They are using faculties that you too possess. We all have the same infinite power flowing to and through us. It's how the power is used that distinguishes one person from another. Now, we have reached a point where I want to caution you. There's a lesson here that is one of the most valuable lessons I have ever learned. When an exciting new image first begins to roll around the screen of your mind, it will require a lot of care. Otherwise, it will get knocked out of your mind as quickly as it entered. Napoleon Hill shared information on this that was very valuable. He said at first the idea will probably have to be coaxed, nursed, and enticed just to remain alive. He continued by explaining that ideas are like that. First you give life, action, and guidance to the idea, and then the idea takes on a power of its own and sweeps aside all opposition. You will find that through the continuing use of your Freedom Series, your idea will become a giant under its own power. Every person who seeks or hopes for the best in life must have a vision. They must make a design, and they must pursue a purpose. These are requirements beyond dispute. There's nothing more important to you than finding the answer to the question, what am I going to make of my life? Shallow thinking will not do. Your life is of great consequence. It should be looked at with intelligence, anticipated with imagination, and designed with care. Let's touch on another part of your personality. We're talking about your reasoning faculty. It's reason that gives you the ability to think. You have options in life. The choices you make are done with your reasoning factor. Everyone will catch themselves from time to time saying, I have to do this or I have to do that. Realize you don't have to do anything. You choose to do everything, and it's your reasoning factor that you choose with. Understand that with everything, there is an opposite. The entire universe operates by law. The late, great Wernher von Braun, the father of the space age, said that the natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't have any difficulty today building a spaceship, sending a man to the moon, and we can time the landing with the precision of a fraction of a second. One of the laws to which von Braun referred is the law of opposites, or the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite to it. Everything. You've got a right side to you, a left side to you. There's a front side to you, a back side. You would have no inside to a room if there wasn't an outside to the room. There'd be no up without a down, and there's no positive without a negative. There's something wrong with your job. There's something wrong with your company. There's something wrong with your business. There's something wrong with your employer. But understand this. The second you notice there's something wrong, clearly understand there's a flip side to the coin. There has to be something right. There's something right about you, your job, your employer, your business, your industry. There's something right with everything. Positive and negative are two words far apart in their meaning and implication. The territory between them is the jousting arena, where the success or failure of every enterprise is determined, and the happiness or misery of life is decided. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every negative, there is a positive. You see, victory tends to favor the contestants who tilt onto the positive banner. They are people who have trained themselves to think, what action am I going to take, instead of, I wonder what's going to happen to me. These people make choices. Don't underestimate the idea that you can choose. Quit choosing thoughts that build images of what you don't want. Begin living as you'd like by no longer living as you dislike. Martyrs are never winners. All of the progress of civilization is due to the constructive thinking of people. The record of history is absolutely brilliant with the deeds of men and women who have said, I can, while it is silent for the most part for those who say I can't. Positive people believe that it is better to fail in carrying out a project than it is not to fail because they have not tried. It's okay to fail. A rocket fails its way to the moon. It's off course 90-some% of the time. It's correct. Every time it gets off course, it gets back on course. Realize that when you fail at something, what you've really learned is how not to do it. Correct, and keep going. It's a pretty safe bet that you're going to work for approximately 80,000 hours in your lifetime. That's a long time. You could accomplish a tremendous series of objectives in that period of time. The secret is start with one, and start now. Just let the picture come to your mind and know that you can do it. I read a story a number of years ago about two men who went into a nightclub where there was entertainment. During the show, a man was spinning 16 plates on the end of long sticks. When they left the club, one said to the other, wasn't it amazing how well he was spinning those plates? The other one replied, what was amazing was not how well he was spinning, but the fact that he could spin them at all. This got him to thinking, how does a person learn to spin 16 plates on the end of a stick? Then it suddenly dawned on him. He becomes a one-plate spinner. And when he masters that, he then becomes a two-plate spinner. And that is the way it is with our life. As you gain an understanding of the operations of your mind and learn how to accomplish one objective, exactly the same laws can be incorporated in the accomplishment of other objectives. In a future message, I will be sharing ideas on how to develop a sense of urgency, how you can keep a number of projects going at the same time in a calm, confident manner. Flip your mind back to the young lady who swam the English Channel. She had no way of knowing she could accomplish what she did until she dove in the channel and gave it everything she had. It starts out with a decision. Make a decision right now that you are going to dramatically increase your level of productivity. All it takes is a decision. How you're going to do it is irrelevant until after you make the decision. Napoleon Hill wrote an entire chapter in Think and Grow Rich on decision. He pointed out that decision was the missing link in all systems of education known to civilization today. The vast majority of people do not know how to make decisions because they have never been taught to make them. Quit playing that silly game. Do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it in your mind. Just make a decision and get going. An American general one time said, make a decision. If it's the wrong one, you can always correct it. He'll explain that the majority of people who fail to reach their goals are those who are easily influenced by other people. They permit the newspapers and the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Opinions are one of the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon anyone who will accept them. Understand that if you are influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you're not going to succeed in any undertaking, much less than that of reaching your goal. If you're influenced by opinions of others, you're never going to have any desire of your own. You're quite capable of going as far as you want or doing anything you want. When you make a decision to execute that beautiful image that rolls onto the screen of your mind, the goal that truly excites you, only share that goal with people you know who are going to encourage and support you. There's enough negativity around without going out and soliciting it. I want to recommend that you carry a card loose in your purse or pocket with a clear description of your goal written on it. Then, every time you touch the card, you'll begin to think of your goal. Whatever you write on the card, you will ultimately get. The goal card may seem like an immature idea, but I can assure you it is not. Research indicates that only 13% of us have clearly defined goals. A clear 87% of us have no clearly defined direction in life. And only 3% of us have our goal in writing. But the 3% who do enjoy the highest incomes and lead meaningful and exciting lives. I began carrying a card in my pocket with my goal written on it back in 1961. The idea of the goal card may be cute, but do not let its apparent simplicity deceive you. It's extremely effective. What do you seriously want? Is it an increase in your income? Do you want to build your business to a certain level? Whatever it is, write it on a card. Carry the card in your pocket and read it as often as you can every day. See what it does to your thinking, and the results will amaze and delight you. When you write your goal on your card, begin by using the words, "I am so happy and grateful now that." Then finish the sentence with whatever it is you wish, writing it in the present tense. When you write your goal on a card, begin by using the words, "I am so happy and grateful now that," and then finish the sentence with whatever it is you wish, always writing it in the present tense. You're going to succeed by keeping your mind on a higher image rather than a lower concern. You're going to be challenged, to be sure. And if the goal's big, the problems are going to be big. But understand that you have the power and the capacity within you to overcome any obstacle that you may come up against. Your goal will keep you going when everything else wants to cut out. Get to the point where you actually feel naked if you don't have your goal card with you. I don't mind sharing with you that my wife Linda and I were on our way to the airport for a trip when I reached my pocket and I realized I didn't have my goal card. Much to my wife's surprise, I had the driver turn around and go back to the house so I could get my goal card. Hold the card in your hand often throughout the day. Read it. Visualize yourself already in possession of whatever it is that's written on the card. Let yourself experience the emotion of having it, touching it, feeling it. Ralph Waldo Emerson left us a library of powerful information. In his essay on self-reliance, he said, "There will come a time in every person's unfoldment when they will realize that envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. To look at another person and envy them is to say, I don't know that we both have the same mental faculties and that we are both drawing on the same power." And he went on, "You should never copy or imitate anyone. You must understand that we are all unique. There never was, nor there never will be anyone quite like you. If you take any part away from anything, it is no longer complete. If you take a page from a book, the book will not be complete any longer. You know, you are a necessary part of the whole scheme of things. Nothing in this universe would move in the precise order it does in your absence. There's something beautiful and magnificent about you." I'm going to leave you with a poem that helps summarize everything you've heard. Focus all of your mental energy on yourself. The poem is called The One and Only You, and it was written by James T. Moore. Every single blade of grass and every flake of snow is just a wee bit different. There's no two alike, you know. From something small, like grains of sand, to each gigantic star. All were made with this in mind, to be just what they are. How foolish then to imitate, how useless to pretend, since each of us comes from a mind whose ideas never end. There will only be just one of me, to show what I can do. And likewise, you should feel very proud. There's only one of you. And that's where it all starts, with you, a wonderful, unlimited human being. You have a marvelous gold mine, and by cultivating and mining it properly, you will have the power to have it all. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.